one of the other major aspects of working on Rosalind that is so unique and so important is the ability to collaborate in real time. Now, I want to start right from the beginning and just emphasize nothing is shared unless you choose for it to be shared. And there's different levels of sharing. Generally speaking, the interactions between scientists and researchers happen in small breakout rooms that we refer to as collaboration spaces. So those are ones that can be done across institutions, across labs, by simply inviting another scientist to work with you. If you happen to work for an institution, there's the ability to have custom security policies, and more importantly, the ability to use things like enterprise libraries, which integrate into the enterprise knowledge graph within Rosalind. We're going to get started in this demonstration and talk about using a collaboration space within an experiment. Collaboration spaces exist within two different locations for collaboration. First, we see the listings of all my projects. These are the ones I'm working on my own within my project tab. This is like my digital bench. Next, we have a listing of all the spaces where I am collaborating. So these are ones where there's many scientists coming together. These are ad hoc data rooms. And then I have a listing of the libraries that I'm working on. In this particular view, this is a feature that's not enabled for my user here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my project listing. And let's get started in the beginning. So let's say that I have an experiment I would like to share inside of a collaboration space. I'm going to open it up. And once I do, we'll see right from the beginning when I'm looking at this experiment summary that this experiment is presently not shared. So I'll say, well, I want to create a brand new collaboration space here. And I'll give this a name. And I'll go ahead and click next. I can enter the names and details. So I could also do a cell number, by the way. So that's great. And that you get a text invitation. So I'm going to do Trent at Rosalind.bio and Abel at Rosalind.bio. You can enter in any emails. Again, if you have restrictions for your institution, Rosalind will alert you that you need to go about a different approach because your data is not allowed to be shared outside of your institution. So good, strong security policies there. I could also skip the invitations and add them later, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And Rosalind will double check and see these two already have accounts on Rosalind. They received an invitation instantaneously and will be able to join me in this collaboration space. And if they weren't on the platform, Rosalind would invite them to join and link them to this collaboration space. So we're going to share this experiment into this collaboration space, and I've just invited Trent and Abel to join me. And as soon as I do that, I'm now in a brand new breakout room collaboration space where this all comes together. I can see an activity feed. I have joined this. We can see the experiments that are here. There's no meta-analyses, and I'm here, and we have Trent and Abel that are about to validate their access. I could also delete them, or I could go ahead and add new participants or add new experiments. So I'm going to go ahead and share a new experiment. When I do, Rosalind's going to look into all of my projects, and so I can see all of my projects here. And I might look through this and say, well, let's see here. I want to grab some COVID-19 experiments, so I'm going to grab a couple of these, and I want to put a nanostring experiment in here, and I can see all these experiment types over here on the side. And so this really completes everything that I wanted to go ahead and put into this collaboration space. So once I click next, Rosalind immediately adds those all in. So we can see a whole series of new experiments were added in. The activity feed allows me to quickly see, it looks like Abel is now joined in. I can see he's here. And we'd see the time and information. I could also even click on his name a little bit more. If Abel had his profile set up on Rosalind, then you'd be able to see his picture and see some nice details on Abel. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and click back and go back to my collaboration space. Notice if I click on my profile, you'll see there's a nice picture and background and my purpose and the things I'm working on within Rosalind. I'll go ahead and go back. So you can see everybody that's participating, your contact information to reach out to them in case you have a question. And as I look at these experiments, here's an RNA-seq one that's looking at MERS. This looks interesting. So if I click on this from the collaboration space, it immediately opens. And so as I jump into this, I'm at the experiment summary. You can see all the key details associated, or I could jump right into this experiment. I'm going to open up here, take a look at 24 hours post-infection for MERS on a collaborative level. At this point, let's say I'm looking at this and I want to change my cutoffs. Let's go ahead and look at this with, let's do my 5-fold up filter. I'm going to color this a different color of red and give this a T for Tim. And I want this to be upregulated by 5. I'm not going to do downregulated. Let's make sure this is nice and strict. My P adjust, I can see I have 1,876 genes. I'm going to save and run that. And once I do, not only has that been queued for processing and will generate a brand new pathway analysis, all the plots are going to update in my inside of my experiment. I can also see right here that Tim added this brand new filter that it's processing. But when I jump back to my collaboration space by clicking over here at the right, I can see that Tim just added a brand new filter, and that it is 5-fold up, and it's a p-adjust of 0.05, and it was in the comparison 24-hour post-infection on a human experiment. So notice I'm quickly navigating between my collaboration space, where I'm looking at all my experiments, and in back directly into these experiments. So this is a really great way to see what's happening inside of the ad hoc, breakout room where we're all working together and what changes are being made, new comparisons, new filters, new notes being added to particular experiments, and do great collaborative work all in real time anywhere in the world.